What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As I showed you guys in the last video, I'm making some parts for Kyle's car to cover the parts that we're missing. So I'm over here at the big shop at San Limo using the big machinery here, and I've already got the console cover cut, and I took it over next door in the brake and got it bent. And then this is the front cover here that's going to cover the front. I got that broke off also, so I just have to measure and put the holes here for the Zeus tabs. So this will Zeus tab in. So I've got those done. Just a little, I've got to make the roof now and the front cover. The front one's going to be a little bit tough because it staggers from 12.5 to 13.5 from front to rear. So you've got to stagger it an inch. So I can get it here in the cutter and angle it and get it cut. So this thing's pretty badass. So like I said, guys, back to work. Got some more parts for Razzle Dazzle. And we're going to get this wrapped up and get them off to the coder. All right, you guys, so centerpiece is in, and this one actually had some complex angles to it, so I had to do some finagling to get it right. But the two square ones that are pretty easy, I actually upped them up, and I cut it and broke it too short. So, yeah, that happened. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about it just yet. I might just sit it in there and do the Zeus's backwards. I got a little time next week. I'll make another one probably. And then this one I made to go in here, and that's going to cover up the console as well. We'll get them coated in the same black coating that we used for the other stuff. So Razzle's coming along. Oh yeah, also made the roof. So the roof's done. I was just notching it out for the whip tabs and the headlight tab. So I've got to go and pick up some Zeus's for the roof, and it got kind of funky when I was bead rolling it, and it put a wave in it right here, but I'll make sure I put enough tabs in the front that it holds it down straight. I'm probably gonna coat the outside and then do vinyl on the inside, the gray vinyl, so it'll give this car kind of a look. So this thing's coming along really, really well. The girls are in there working on Project Garage Flying Gia. As soon as that thing's done, I think it'll be done tomorrow. They're working on the front fender. I can get Razzle Dazzle back in the shop, get the injectors and stuff put in the motor, finish up on the fuel system, and get this thing ready for Glamis. All right, boys, so we're just about ready to get this motor pulled out of my car and put the new one in. But I got a call from the coating place, and the Razzle Dazzle parts were finished. So I went over and picked them up. Check that out. This roof looks really, really good. I wasn't sure how this coating was going to do for a roof, but man, how freaking cool does that look, guys? I mean, that looks freaking awesome. So I got to Zeus it down still. So I'm going to get the TIG welder out in a little bit. Hey, Sherry's here. Get my TIG welder out and get the Zeus tabs put in it. And I got all the other panels coated as well. I went ahead and just got them coated now, and I'll cut them to fit however I need to get them in here. And yeah, man, all the interior stuff will be finished. I can mount the light bar back up, clean up some of the wiring, and then most of the stuff came in for the motor. I've got the injectors back in. So the top hat and top part of the intake manifold is going to go back on. And then I can go over here to this side and finish up the fuel system. I'll do that this week, put the battery back in. It's got a fresh charge on it, and then we're gonna make an intake for it. I'm gonna clean out the turbo and do a little bit more cleanup work. Also, one more thing I have to do is mount the back of the tranny. So I'm gonna cut that tranny mount up, and we're gonna put a tab from here to here on both sides so the transmission's nice and sturdy. So we'll get that all finished up, and then we're also talking about maybe a skid plate if we have time for this trip. If not, we'll get a skid plate done, you know, before the next trip or what have you. So I'd really like to get into this thing more. I'd like to put some taller shocks on it, raise it up, re-powder coat or chrome or powder the arms, really, really clean this car up, because this thing could be really, really clean if we clean it up. But in the meantime, guys, that's where we're at. Roof's done for Razzle Dazzle, as well as, oh yeah, that's good to go, all the panels. So now we're gonna jump over to my car, get the motor pulled out, and get the new bullet put in for the old Dune car. Harvey here from the Dune Addict YouTube channel. I just want to let you guys know you can jump on over to theduneaddict.com and grab yourself some merch. We've got all styles and sizes in stock, different colors in stock. We've got women's V-necks in stock, and our new hoodies are also available for order right now on theduneaddict.com. So jump on over there, guys. Grab yourself some merch today. Thanks for watching. All right, so the first little anomaly I found, this is a Chevy flywheel. This car that this motor was in has a big transmission with a Chevy bell housing, which I will be switching to, so I'm not getting rid of this. But the dowel pin hole on the Kennedy flywheel is a little bit smaller. It doesn't quite fit over the dowel pin on the crank. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this half-inch drill out. I'm gonna drill out this dowel hole. Okay, so I went ahead and drilled the dowel pin hole out. And then the other thing I'm noticing is I need the insert in here with the bearing in it, and I need to get it out of my old motor. It's right there. That's an aluminum insert that holds the input shaft in. So there's a couple ways you can do that. I actually have a puller for it, so I'm gonna try to use the puller first. If that doesn't work, then I'm gonna try the old bread trick. I don't know if you guys know the bread trick or not, but you can stuff that little hole. Let me back up here. That hole right there, stuff a bunch of bread in that hole, and then take a bolt that fits in there that's the same size and smack that with a hammer. And the force of the bread pushing on the back of the crank will push that bearing out. If that's what I have to do, I'll show you guys how to do that. It's pretty cool. And guys, I just realized that I am out of Loctite. So I've got to run to the auto parts store and get some Loctite. And now that I'm looking more at this dowel pin, it looks like it's hanging out quite a bit. So I'm gonna stick the clutch in there and make sure that that is not touching, because it looks like it's gonna push the clutch out. I may have to trim this dowel pin down with the grinder. I don't wanna get rid of it. I do like having a dowel pin in there. But I'm gonna go ahead and make sure the clutch is gonna work. If not, we'll just take this off and cut this back. I also realized that I don't have any Loctite, so I need to go to the auto parts store, pick up some more red Loctite. Always, always, always red Loctite your flywheel bolts, guys, always. These things loosen up, it will ruin your motor. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this and get this fixed up. All right, well, I grabbed the tool that I have for pulling out input shaft bearings. And unfortunately, it's too big. Can't get it in there without trashing the bearing. So Sherry's bringing me a piece of bread, and I'm gonna show you guys how this works. Okay, well, Sherry brought us a piece of bread, sourdough, whatever you guys want, right? So we're gonna take this bread, and we're just gonna push it in the hole. I know it seems unorthodox using bread to work on an engine, but this works. You can use grease or any kind of, I don't know. I don't like using grease because it makes a friggin' mess. But get you a bolt, just keep pushing. May have to use a piece or two, but this definitely works. Takes a little bit of time, but it's not very messy. Bread cleans up pretty easily. We're getting there. Just gonna keep pushing a bunch of bread in here, and then I'll show you guys how this works. All right, I got a bigger bolt. Got it kind of fed in there. I'm gonna give it a few love taps here, and then really lay into it. Oh, so close, guys. Almost there. That's a lot of bread in a little hole. Tell you what.
Yeah, it is.
But like I said, there's a lot of things you can use to offset the space. I like bread just because it's easy to clean up. Throw it out in the yard, the birds will eat it tomorrow. I think this last piece will do it. So like I said, if you're ever in a pinch and you don't have the right puller, a little bit of
Bread's
bread.
your friend.
And there it is, guys. Check that out. So that's all the bread. That's what I needed. Okay, guys, from the time lapse, you could see we got it dropped in the car. Unfortunately, we're having some trouble with this giant Moroso oil pan. I do not want to get rid of this pan. I definitely want to keep it. But we need to come down a little bit and still in a good 2.5 inches or so. And the pan is hitting the motor mount tabs. And this pan here, by the time it's all said and done, is gonna be way up here. So it looks like I need to pull the motor up and back out, get my grinder out, and I need to knock these motor mount tabs down. I don't want to put the old oil pan back on. It's just a stock one. I'd much rather keep this one. And same thing for the other side. It's looking like the pan's gonna hit as well. Maybe, it might clear that side, but it's gonna be crazy close. But I'm gonna go ahead and clearance both sides anyway. It won't hurt it to knock some of the tab down right there with the grinder. So we're gonna pull the motor up and back out and get to grinding on that. My goal for today is to at least get the motor in the car and bolted up. Already got this motor sold, put a listing on Marketplace for it, and it sold in like 15 minutes. In 20 minutes, it was gone. Guy coming all the way from Cali to pick it up. So in the morning, I still have to pull the seat out, pull out the ECU and the harness because I sold him everything because, oh, that's something else I didn't show you guys. Let me jump over here. Forgot another bonus. We are switching to Holley, Terminator X. Complete system, wire harness here with the digital screen. That's gonna go right here in the dash. It'll get rid of these 2 gauges. I'll put a boost gauge over here for future. And I don't know, that tack doesn't even work anyway, but that's gonna go right there. Do everything we need it to do. Hopefully that does it. So we clearanced a bunch on that mount. And like I said, I don't want to lose that big Moroso pan. So we're going to jump in here and try to get this thing pushed in again. The new bullet is in. You know, guys, I've always thought, I've never had a name for our car. You know? Yeah. Guys, drop some comments down below. So you think of a name. Joe used to call me Silver Cruiser in his phone because I had a silver San Lamo Cruiser, but maybe the Silver Bullet. But I don't know if I like the Cruise Light theme. But
We're gonna end up.
Yeah, we're gonna end up painting the car anyway, and it's not gonna be silver anymore. So scratch that. Anyhow, the 440 cubic inch LSX is in. I did show you guys earlier, I did have to modify that mount quite a bit so it does not hit that Moroso pan, but it fits, everything's good. It's not touching anywhere. My motor doesn't move at all anyways. It's all solid mounted. Guys, I can't wait to fire this thing up. This thing is friggin' sick. So that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. We'll go ahead and close up shop, get out of here. We'll get back on this in the morning. Hopefully by the end of tomorrow, I can actually fire this thing because the Holley ECU is the one that came with this motor and it's already tuned. Not tuned to where I'm probably gonna like it. I'm gonna take it back to the dyno and have it retuned before I go to Glamis, but it is tuned. So we'll go from there and we'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Guys, so it is the next day. We're back out here in the shop once again. We're going to get this motor dressed because I have a customer coming to, not a customer, but I sold it. So there's a guy coming from Cali to pick that up. Then by dressed, I mean I'm going to put the water pump back on it, put the alternator back on, put the tensioner on, throw the belt on it, clean it up a little bit. And then, as I showed you guys last night, the new 440 is installed. So a couple more things to do to this, but I've got to get this motor dressed, and I've got to get the back seat out so I can get the rest of the harness out, because I sold the motor and the harness and the ECU all together. Like I showed you guys before, this thing's going to Holly. So we're going to go ahead and get started for the day, get this thing dressed and ready to go, and then jump right back to work on this one. So I got the headers bolted on. I had a little bit of an issue with this bolt right here. The head was a little bit stripped out, so I ran a tap in there, chased the threads, cleaned it out, but headers are on, guys. Now I got to pull the seat out and get the rest of the wiring harness out. All right, well, we got the seat jacked up. We got all the harness and ECU out of here. I'm actually a little embarrassed by this, guys, but whoever had wired this car originally, I kind of tied into it, and they used red for everything. Like I said before, when I tear this car down, it's going to get completely rewired. But, you know, at this point, it is what it is. I'll go ahead and start putting the Holly harness on and getting that set up in here and adding the relays and stuff I need for my fans, my fuel pump, and my ignition. It's kind of cool is that the CBM harness, when you buy that OEM harness from them, that modified, it comes with relays. It comes with a 4 relay pack and a fuse box. Kind of similar to what I do with the Honda stuff, but I use relays that have the fuses built in instead of doing that. So I'm kind of going to do the same thing, kind of like a Honda harness on here for this, for the Holly harness. So we're going to go ahead and get it on and keep moving forward, guys. All right, a little more progress. Got the, I had to modify my throttle cable bracket, but I got that modified. I'm going to put all the boots back on. Had to cut this down a little bit. But I'm gonna make it work. It should still fit under the cup. Well, nothing that's gonna cover that. I'll probably just tie wrap this down here so it looks nice and sleek and clean. Somewhere there are the CBM covers for these. I'll find them. I'm not sure where they're at. They're either at Joe's or with the guy I got the motor from. Wiring's all finished up. Mass airflow sensor. We're not using that. Or the manifold intake temp. Not using that, but maybe I will. Who knows? Anyways, guys, all right, get off on little tangents. But anyways, everything's pretty much wrapped up. Like I said, the only thing I was worried about was that they took the IAC valve out for some reason, but if they tuned without it and just tuned a fixed idle, then we'll know in a little bit when we get this fired up. I got my water inlet pipe hooked up. I am going to do all dash 16 on these eventually. In the meantime, we're just going to leave it the way it was, and everything should be good to go. So that's kind of where we're at right now, guys. I'm going to bring you along the way and show you the first startup when this girl's ready to fire up. All right, so ran a little late last night. Had some stuff to do, so we stopped. But as you can see, I got a big mess here. I've got the ECU in, got the harness in, got new relays in, everything's soldered up. I'm going to clean all that up in a few. And then what I also did was I'm going to be putting an Aeromotive A1000 pump in here. So I went ahead and ran bigger gauge fuel pump wire, and I left some slack in there in case I mount the pump down there or wherever I've got room. In the meantime, it's still connected to my Bosch 044, which again should be plenty enough for this setup, but I'm going to switch to a bigger fuel system in case I want to go put a blower on this motor or something. Anyways, Terminator X is in, and we're going to give this thing a first fire up, guys. So we're going to walk over here, turn the battery is on, and I don't know why that's flashing. Fuel pump's primed. Battery's smoked. So I think I accidentally left the key on all night. So we're gonna let that battery charge up for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and cycle the key on. Again, give this thing a first fire up. Got the Holly dash just sitting here, but see what she does, boys. All right, so you guys saw the first fire up of the new CBM 440. Now that I've got this pretty much ready to go to the dyno, I got a few things to button up. I can do that before Wednesday. I got to jump back over here on Razzle Dazzle. The rest of the injector parts came in for me, the seals and stuff. I replaced everything. So we got all new injectors, new seals, new O-rings, new everything here. So we'll get that taken care of. Give you guys a sneak peek of what the floor is going to look like. This stuff's going to get Zeus down. The centerpiece is in, so Kyle will have full floors in the front of this car now, which, man, it looks really good, especially up against that gray vinyl. So I've got some wiring to do today. I'm going to put all the new switches in. I'm about to put the battery back in and clean up the wiring back here and then figure out how we're going to get this in permanently. And yeah, guys, Razzle Dazzle and my car getting ready for Glamis. All right, so the first thing I did was I went ahead and put the battery back in after everything got cleaned up. And I'm getting rid of these post terminals. These things drive me crazy. There's a ton of slack on them. I already did it on the hot side. Tie wrapped everything up. I'm gonna get back into here and clean a bunch of this up as well. On with the electrical, we got all the sand sealed switches in. Like I said, we're gonna abandon that start button because they're junk and they just don't work well. So what we did is this will be on and then push forward to start. And then we'll have lights. I'm not sure, I think this button was for the light bar. I'm gonna get up underneath the car and have a look. The cool thing about the electrical on this is you don't have to pull the console. I really wish I had my lift in here because I could just put it on the lift and stand there and do it, but I gotta lay on the ground and I'm gonna show you guys how easy it is to get to the electrical in this car. Let's go underneath and have a look. You pull the center floor out and we got access to everything under here. So if I had my lift, it would be ideal, but I don't. But it's all good. I got these old switches out and we're gonna start transferring stuff over. All right, well, I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on with this car and these relays back here. Starting to dig into the wiring a little bit more. I got the switches put in and then I saw that. And that scares me big time. Jumping across fuses with wire. Yeah. And got a couple of Bosch relays here. One of them is for the fan. And for some reason, they're triggering the fans with a fan switch up there in the dash and not with the factory coolant or fan switch on the motor. And when I do Honda cars, I like to let this do the work. I've got it jumped right now so I can find the signal in there, the ground signal to trigger the relay. I like to let Honda do the work, and then if you want to put a switch in the dash, you put that in as an override. In case that switch fails and this car starts to get hot, the fan doesn't come on, then you can throw the switch. But if you leave it on a switch like this, you get in the car to go drive it, a lot of guys, you're going to forget. You're out in the dunes, and all of us, next thing you know, that gauge is pegged at 250 and you're in big trouble. So we like to leave things as factory as possible, especially when we're doing Honda swaps, Honda reliability, Honda factory, everything. So also got a few issues with the starter. I'm digging into that relay back there, and I found why the starter wasn't working, and they were jumping it with a screwdriver. The wire was just clipped. But I think I'm gonna gut this, guys. I gotta take all that out of there. I can't let this car drive around like that. So I've got some fused relays I think I'm gonna put in its place and go through this wiring and get it all cleaned up. All right, so it is a couple hours later. I've been getting kind of sidetracked. I had to go through some wiring inside the ECU there. And I'm gonna be adding a boost controller to this car with a whammy button on the steering wheel. So I had to pin the ECU and pull a wire out. But I went ahead and got a relay pack built up and put in there. And I think that looks way better than that. So safe, got fuses in them, done deal. And everything works, triggers as it's supposed to. I'm gonna attach the fan to here and the fuel pump to here, and we're good to go. The fan is now controlled via the fan switch back here on the motor. That way the driver never has to worry about turning the switch on, because a lot of people forget. Also, guys, you saw the first fire up with my car. I got the engine cover on. Well, this one's just sitting there. I need to put the one on the other side And I got the intake for it. My buddy brought it over. It sits in here and then puts 2 filters up there. Unfortunately, my coolant lines are in the way. And this is not normally where we run them. It's just what I had laying around when I did it. So normally they run out of here and they run down under the header down there and then around and back up here to the radiator. I'm probably just going to do -16 AN from the water pump and the housing up to my radiator. That way I can run them up here and outside and everything should fit. And I think my trunk wing's still gonna fit with that big intake in there too. So looks pretty good. If it doesn't, I'm gonna have to cut these tabs and move them back a little bit and slide my trunk wing back a couple inches. So this thing will be ready for the dyno on Wednesday. We're going to Exact Dyno. We're gonna go see Tim and put this thing on the rollers and see what it makes. So that's gonna wrap it up for now. I got a lot done on the Razzle Dazzle car. A lot of the wiring cleaned up like I showed you guys earlier. That's all cleaned up. I got to do a little bit more down here at the bottom, but the panels are all coated and ready to go in. You guys have seen that already. And my car is almost ready for the dyno on Wednesday. So that's going to wrap it up for me. The next video you guys are going to see is my car on the dyno making some serious juice. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give us a like and a subscribe, and we will see you in the dunes. Hey, what's up, guys? Harvey here from the Dune Addict YouTube channel. I just want to let you guys know you can jump on over to theduneaddict.com and grab yourself some merch. We've got all styles and sizes in stock, different colors in stock. We've got women's V-necks in stock, and our new hoodies are also available for order right now on theduneaddict.com. So jump on over there, guys. Grab yourself some merch today. Thanks for watching.